Our movie begins in a great and distant kingdom, ruled by King William, who finally has a daughter after spending many long years waiting for an heir to the throne, and throws a massive celebration. Among the attendees is the widowed Queen Uberta and her young son, Prince Derek. King William reaches an agreement with Queen Uberta to marry his daughter to her son when they grow up, in order to unite their two kingdoms. Because of this, they are scheduled to meet every single summer so that Odette and Derek can get closer to each other. However, the king has no idea about the plans of the evil sorcerer who is plotting to take over the kingdom. Princess Odette's presence will end up ruining all of his plans, and because of this, he decides to get rid of her. He goes to his secret lair along with his assistant, Bridget, where Rothbart starts using his dark magic and witchcraft. He is just about to order a creature to carry out his commands, but right then, King William sends his soldiers to arrest him after the people complained about his dark arts. Instead of execution, King William settles for just exiling him from the kingdom. Rothbart warns them that he will return once again to destroy absolutely everything, but the king pays no attention to his words and walks away. Days and years pass by, and the kingdom remains peaceful. Odette grows up, and every summer the king takes her to the kingdom of Prince Derek and Queen Uberta to spend the summer just as they had agreed. It is very clear that Derek and Odette cannot stand each other, and each one wants to get rid of the other by any means necessary, if it weren't for their parents forcing them to treat each other politely. However, Odette and Derek do not listen, and they play endless pranks on each other. Derek makes his friend Bromley help him annoy Odette, and they keep teasing her constantly. Neither has any idea that fate is going to change absolutely everything. The days keep passing, and Princess Odette grows up to become a person of unmatched beauty in the entire kingdom. When summer arrives, her father forces her to go and meet Derek. As soon as she arrives and Derek sees her after she has grown up, he is completely blown away by her beauty, unable to believe this is the exact same girl he used to hate so much as a kid. She feels the same way when she looks at him, especially when she sees his charming smile, and right then, her heart starts racing. Derek asks her to dance with him, and after the dance, he officially announces that he is going to marry Princess Odette. At that moment, she asks him exactly why he wants to marry her. So he answers that he wants to marry her simply because she looks beautiful. This makes Odette feel very sad, because he only cares about her looks, so she rejects him and walks away with her father. Right here, the curse that will change everything begins. Rothbart returns after all these years that he spent training himself incredibly well in order to take his revenge and seize the kingdom. He appears right in front of them while they are on their way back, and suddenly he transforms into a massive, terrifying monster and viciously attacks them. One of the guards manages to escape and runs back to Prince Derek, informing him that a giant monster has attacked the king's caravan. Derek rushes out on his horse until he reaches the location of the king's carriage, which is completely destroyed. He finds the king heavily wounded and taking his very last breaths, so Derek asks who did this to him. The king tells him that the monster stabbed him and cryptically adds that she is no longer the same girl that he used to know, leaving Derek completely puzzled right before the king passes away. On the other side of things, we discover that Rothbart has transformed Odette into a swan. He tells her that she will remain in this form, changing back to her real human shape whenever the moon rises in the sky, and turning right back into a swan the moment it disappears. He adds that in order to break this curse, she must marry him so that he can become the legitimate heir to the throne and rule over the entire kingdom. Odette completely refuses and tells him that this will absolutely never happen. We go back to Derek, who is training intensely so he can stand against the monster and bring Odette back home. The advisor tells him that it is impossible and that she is definitely dead, just like everyone else is saying. Derek explains that he deeply feels she is still alive and that he must rescue her at any cost. We return to the lake where Odette is, and a frog named Jean-Bob appears, along with his turtle friend Speed. They are talking about what they overheard between Odette and Rothbart. Jean-Bob thinks that if Odette gives him a kiss, he will turn into a prince, just like in fairy tales.
Speed mocks him and tells him that those are just stories, while their reality is completely different. While they are talking, a bird suddenly crashes down, wounded by an arrow, and loses consciousness.
Odette manages to treat his wound, and when he wakes up, he introduces himself, saying his name is Puffin. He tells Odette that he is fully ready to help them with absolutely anything to return the favor, even if he has to stand against Rothbart himself. On the other side, Queen Uberta is preparing a massive ball and inviting all the young women in the kingdom so that the prince can choose one of them to marry. However, Derek is sitting down, deeply reflecting on King William's words, when he told him that Odette is no longer what he thinks. After searching extensively, he figures out that the king meant Odette's physical appearance has completely changed, so he goes out to search for her across the forest. At the same time, Princess Odette tells Puffin that she turns into a swan every single night. Speed and Jean-Bob let her know that the map of the area is with Rothbart's assistant, Bridget, and that they must steal it from her. They sneak around and enter the castle, and Puffin manages to grab the map. Suddenly, the assistant notices them and starts chasing them. They keep throwing the map to one another so she cannot catch them, until they manage to jump out of the window at the very last second. We see Prince Derek along with Bromley, and they are searching for the monster everywhere inside the forest. At that exact same moment, Odette and Puffin are on their way to the kingdom. Odette spots Derek in the forest, so she tries to catch his attention. But unfortunately, Derek thinks that Odette is actually the monster, disguised in the form of a swan, so he aims his arrow at her. He chases after her to the location of the lake, and Odette gets into the water so she can transform back into her human form when the moon appears. However, she doesn't transform because the clouds are completely covering the moon, and Derek is just about to kill her. Suddenly, the clouds disappear, and Odette transforms back into her beautiful form. Derek is completely shocked and hugs her tightly, asking who did this to her. She tells him that she was put under a spell by the evil sorcerer Rothbart, and explains that if he truly wants to help her, he must make a vow of everlasting love to her. Derek responds by telling her to come tomorrow to the ball that his mother is throwing, and he will openly declare his love for her. Rothbart actually arrives at that moment, and using his magical powers, he discovers every single word that took place between them, and he also finds out about the ball. The sorcerer tells her that she won't be able to attend the party, especially since the moon will not appear in the sky tomorrow, meaning she won't be able to turn into her human form. A little later, Rothbart transforms his assistant, Bridget, into the exact shape of Odette, so that Prince Derek will make his vow of eternal love to the fake Odette at the ball. He locks the real Odette up inside a very deep well, and he also kidnaps Bromley to carry out his plan perfectly. The next day, the prince returns to the palace. The ball begins, and all the princesses of the kingdom arrive looking incredibly elegant. On the other side, Odette's friends work together to widen the opening where the water passes, so Odette can escape. Speed successfully keeps the alligators occupied, while Jean-Bob searches for the opening. Jean-Bob finally manages to find the vent, gets inside to Odette, and tells her that she needs to move quickly. Unfortunately, the alligators chase her, but she manages to escape from them at the absolute last second with Speed's help. We return to the ball, and we see all the princesses introducing themselves to the prince, but Derek pays no attention to them because he is extremely anxious about Odette. Suddenly, a new princess arrives, and she turns out to be the fake Odette. The moment Derek sees her, he becomes overjoyed and dances with her. Derek asks the advisor to stop the music because he is about to make an important announcement. Right then, Odette arrives and wants to enter the palace, but all the windows are tightly shut. Derek loudly announces that he has found the love of his life and that she will be his wife, proclaiming his vow of eternal love to the imposter. Odette tries every possible way to get inside the palace, but fails, and unfortunately, she grows extremely exhausted as the moon disappears, meaning she won't be able to fly. During this time, Rothbart arrives at the party and reveals to Derek that he has just made a vow to the fake Odette, while the real Odette is currently dying. Derek finally realizes the deception, takes his horse, and rushes out at full speed after Odette, who collapses right by the lake and loses consciousness.
Derek arrives and tells her that he will never abandon her no matter what. Suddenly, the evil Rothbart catches up to them and transforms into his monstrous form.
He stands up to fight him, but the monster is far stronger than him, shatters his sword, and keeps tossing him from one place to another. At that exact moment, Odette's friends quickly rush to retrieve Derek's bow from the lake. Bromley finds his courage, manages to get out of the vent, and throws the arrow to him. Derek catches it and aims it perfectly right into the heart of the monster, who collapses and completely vanishes along with his dark magic. Odette comes right back to life. The curse officially ends, and she will never turn into a swan again. They hold a massive wedding and invite all the people from both kingdoms. They live a very happy life with all of her friends around her. But will they actually remain happy after marriage? That is exactly what we will find out in the second part. If you want us to recap another Disney classic after this, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our movie recap channel. Give this video a thumbs up and write down in the comments which country you are watching from. See you in the next video.